So, this Thanksgiving? I thought it was just gonna be chill, eat, nap, watch football, but nope. For once, I wanted no drama, no awkward political debates, no emotional outbursts, no, so when are you getting married, from Aunt Linda. But if your family's anything like mine, no drama is the biggest joke of all. It all started 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, when my mom texted our family group chat with the subject line, "Important Thanksgiving announcement." Now, when my mom uses all caps, it's never good news. I opened the message and nearly choked on my coffee. This year, we're doing Thanksgiving at my house. No excuses. Everyone's invited. Let's make this year special. I groaned. See, my mom's special means stressful. She goes full Martha Stewart mode, handmade place cards, themed table runners, even Pinterest-inspired napkin folds that no one appreciates. And then my sister, Jenna, replied with, "Can I bring Chad?" Cue the eye-roll emoji storm. Chad is her boyfriend of 8 months, well, on and off 8 months. He's one of those guys who thinks crypto investor counts as a career, and he once tried to convince my mom to buy Bitcoin for her retirement. Spoiler, she almost did. Then my cousin, Emily, chimed in. "Can I bring my new boyfriend too? His name's Kyle. He's super nice." That was when my dad texted for the first time in the chat, just one line. "How many chairs do we have?" Because, honestly, that was the real crisis. Fast forward to Thanksgiving morning. The smell of turkey and chaos filled the air. My mom had been awake since 5 a.m., yelling at the stuffing for not listening, and my dad had retreated to the garage pretending to check the deep fryer. I arrived around noon, bottle of wine in hand, trying to mentally prepare. I told myself, smile, eat, don't start anything. The door opened before I could even knock. Finally, my mom said, pulling me into a hug that smelled like burnt marshmallows. "You're late." "It's noon," I said. "Exactly," she replied. Inside, the living room was already full. My grandma was crocheting something aggressively on the couch. My Uncle Rick was taste testing the gravy with a beer in hand. Aunt Linda was reorganizing my mom's spice rack because, as she loudly put it, someone has to bring order to this place. And then I saw Jenna and Chad. She was glued to his arm, smiling like this was their engagement party, while he was on his phone, probably checking crypto prices. Then there was Emily, introducing her new boyfriend Kyle, a tall, awkward guy in a Friendsgiving vibes hoodie. He looked nervous. Honestly, I felt bad for him. No one survives their first Thanksgiving with our family unscathed. We all sat down for dinner around 3 p.m., which in my mom's world means 4:15. The turkey was perfect, the table was beautiful, and for the first 5 minutes, everything actually felt peaceful. Then Grandma spoke. "So, who wants to start with what they're thankful for?" she asked. Everyone froze. You'd think she asked who wanted to donate a kidney. Finally, my dad went first. "I'm thankful for football." Classic. Then Jenna said, "I'm thankful for love," and looked dreamily at Chad, who was still on his phone. Mom smiled. "That's sweet, honey." Then Chad said, without looking up, "I'm thankful for crypto. Because it's the future." You could feel the collective eye roll around the table. Then Grandma, who never misses a chance to stir the pot, said, "Well, I'm thankful for honesty." Which, by the way, seems to be in short supply around here. Everyone went silent. Mom looked nervous. What do you mean, Mother?" Grandma leaned back, smirking. "Oh, nothing. I just think some people at this table might be keeping secrets." I swear you could hear the mashed potato sweating. Uncle Rick laughed it off. "Mom, what are you talking about?" "Oh, I'm just saying," she said, looking directly at Emily, "that not everyone here is who they say they are." Emily blinked. "What?" And that's when Kyle, the new boyfriend, started coughing so hard he almost choked on his stuffing. Mom panicked, rushing to pat his back. "Are you okay?" But Grandma just kept smiling. And I thought, oh no. She knows something. Little did I know, that was just the first secret of the night. Everyone stared at Grandma like she'd just dropped a grenade in the mashed potatoes. My mom tried to smooth things over with that tight smile she gets when she's seconds away from losing it. Mother, maybe now's not the best time for your observations. Grandma took a slow sip of her wine. Nonsense. It's the perfect time. Family gathered, truth on the table, literally. Emily's face was turning pink. I'm sorry, what are you implying? Grandma turned to Kyle, her smile sweet and sharp. Well, for starters, maybe your boyfriend could introduce himself properly. Or should I call you, what was it? Tyler? Everyone's head snapped toward Kyle. Wait, my Uncle Rick said. His name's not Kyle? Kyle looked like he was about to crawl under the table. Emily gasped. Tyler? What is she talking about? He sighed, setting down his fork. Okay, look, it's not a big deal. My real name's Tyler Kyle. I just go by my middle name. My grandma smirked. Oh, honey. You really expect me to believe that? I may be old, but I'm not stupid. I was half choking on my wine at this point. Grandma, what's going on? What's going on, she said, leaning forward, is that I saw this young man last week on the local news. Something about a small claims court case involving a Kyle who scammed people selling fake concert tickets. The entire table went silent. What? Emily shrieked. Kyle, Tyler, whatever, threw up his hands. It's not what it sounds like. That was my cousin. We had the same name. It was a misunderstanding. My mom looked horrified. Oh, Lord, Grandma folded her arms, clearly satisfied with the chaos she'd unleashed. Well, maybe next time you'll all believe me when I say I have a good memory. I wanted to disappear. Emily stormed away from the table, muttering something about needing air. Her boyfriend, possibly criminal boyfriend, followed her out. My dad tried to restart the meal. So, anyone want more potatoes? But no one moved. We all sat there, silently digesting the awkwardness. After a few minutes, Jenna broke the tension. Well, that was wild, she said, laughing nervously. But hey, at least my relationship isn't full of lies. Grandma's eyes twinkled again. Oh, sweetie, she said. Don't speak too soon. My mom groaned. Mother, please, but Grandma was on a roll. I'm just saying, maybe Chad here should tell us about his other investment, the one he's been hiding. Jenna frowned. What investment? Chad looked up from his phone for the first time all night, clearly blindsided. I have no idea what she's talking about. Grandma raised an eyebrow. Don't you? Because according to your Instagram, yes, I have Instagram, you've been investing in someone named Lexi, who seems to spend a lot of time in bikinis. My fork hit my plate. Oh my God. Jenna's face went red. Lexi? Who's Lexi? Chad stammered. Babe, it's not what you think. She's just a friend who helps me promote my crypto projects, in a bikini? Jenna snapped. You told me she was your business partner. She is. Then why does she comment hearts on all your photos? It's part of the algorithm. Grandma nodded smugly. Oh, I'm sure it is. Jenna stood up, grabbed her plate, and dumped an entire scoop of mashed potatoes onto Chad's lap. He yelped. What the, Jenna? Enjoy the algorithm, she shouted before storming off to join Emily on the porch. My mom was rubbing her temples like she was praying for a lightning strike to end it all. Mother, why do you do this every year? Because no one else will, Grandma said proudly. Uncle Rick started laughing so hard he nearly spilled his beer. This is better than the Cowboys game. Shut up, Rick, Mom said. I was half horrified, half trying not to laugh. Okay, can we please, for the love of pumpkin pie, stop dropping truth bombs for 5 minutes? Grandma shrugged. I'm not the only one with secrets, dear. My mom froze. What's that supposed to mean? Grandma sipped her wine again, eyes glinting. Ask your husband. My dad choked on his cranberry sauce. What? Oh, don't play dumb, Daniel, Grandma said. I saw you sneaking around last week at the mall with a woman who's definitely not your wife. The room went dead quiet again. My mom's face turned pale. Excuse me? Dad's jaw dropped. Mom. That was the car dealership clerk. I was test driving a car for you. Oh really? Grandma asked. Because it looked an awful lot like you two were sharing a pretzel and laughing like teenagers. It was free sample day, my dad said. You always assume the worst. Aunt Linda muttered, well, now I want a pretzel. That was it for Mom. She stood up and pointed at Grandma. You know what? If you're going to spend every Thanksgiving accusing everyone of lying, maybe next year you can host it at your own house. Grandma smiled sweetly. Oh, I'd love to. But then how would I see all the fireworks? The tension was nuclear. My phone buzzed under the table, Jenna texting from outside, you guys hearing all that? I texted back, yeah. Run. And then, just when I thought it couldn't possibly get worse, the doorbell rang. The doorbell echoed through the house like the final boss of the evening had just arrived. Everyone froze. My mom glared at the door like it had personally insulted her turkey. Who on earth, she started, but Grandma, still smirking, said, oh, I think I know who that is. Mom's eyes widened. Mother. What did you do? Nothing, Grandma said, standing up with her glass of wine. I just thought it was time certain truths came to light. She opened the door dramatically, like she was revealing a surprise guest on a reality show. And there she was. A woman in her late 30s, holding a pie and looking way too nervous for someone bringing dessert. Hi, she said. I'm Melissa. My dad's fork clattered onto his plate. Mom blinked. I'm sorry, who? The woman hesitated. Melissa, from your husband's office. I swear I heard the dramatic music from Dateline playing in my head. My dad jumped up. Oh, for crying out loud, she's my coworker. I invited her because she didn't have anywhere to go for Thanksgiving. You invited someone without telling me? Mom snapped. Do you know how many chairs I had to rearrange? You were already mad about the chairs, he said. What's one more plate? Grandma was loving every second. I must say, Daniel, you do have excellent taste in coworkers. Mother. Mom barked. Enough. Poor Melissa stood frozen, pie trembling in her hands. Maybe I should just, no, Mom said, forcing a tight smile that could crack glass. You're already here. Sit down. Thank you, Melissa said timidly. The room was so tense you could have carved it instead of the turkey. She sat at the end of the table beside me, clearly regretting her life choices. So, I said quietly to her, rough first Thanksgiving with the in-laws? She gave a nervous laugh. You have no idea. At that moment, the back door opened, and Emily and Jenna came back inside, Emily with tear-streaked mascara, Jenna still holding a plate like she was ready for round two. We good? Jenna asked. Not even close, I said. Grandma invited Dad's coworker. What? Both of them yelled in unison. She's not his girlfriend. Dad shouted from across the table. Can we please stop accusing me of everything? Chad, still dabbing mashed potatoes off his pants, muttered, kinda seems like everyone's got something to hide. Mom turned to him. Oh, like your bikini business partner? Touché, Chad said, looking down. I was about to suggest we all just skip straight to dessert when the oven timer beeped, startling everyone. Mom took it as a divine signal. Pie time, she declared. Maybe sugar will shut us all up for 5 minutes. She disappeared into the kitchen, muttering under her breath. Grandma clinked her fork against her glass. Before dessert, I have one more announcement. Everyone groaned in unison. Mother, please, Mom yelled from the kitchen. No more announcements. Too late, Grandma said proudly. I've been keeping something from you all, too. My dad sighed. Oh, fantastic. What is it this time, Mother? You joined a cult? Worse, Grandma said. I've been in contact with someone very special. Someone you all might want to meet. We all braced ourselves. Please don't tell me it's a long-lost cousin, Jenna whispered to me. Worse, I whispered back. Grandma smiled. Everyone, say hello to your brother. What? Mom screamed, emerging from the kitchen holding a pumpkin pie like a weapon. And that's when a man walked in behind Grandma. Tall, dark-haired, early 40s, looking like he just stepped off a Hallmark movie set. Hi, he said awkwardly. Name's Steve. Apparently, I'm family? What? We all yelled again. Grandma beamed. Isn't that exciting? My mom looked like she was going to pass out. Mother, who is this man? Your father's son, Grandma said. From before me. He reached out a few months ago after finding me on Facebook. I invited him to Thanksgiving. I swear the entire room stopped breathing. My dad blinked. You mean, my half-brother? That's right. Grandma said cheerfully. And he's lovely. Works in finance, owns his own home, no criminal record, unlike some people at this table. She glanced pointedly at Kyle, who had quietly re-entered behind Emily. Steve stepped forward, piecing together the family circus. Wow, he said. You guys really know how to throw a Thanksgiving. You have no idea, I said. Mom put the pie down carefully, then sat, head in her hands. I can't do this anymore, she muttered. I just wanted one nice family dinner. Steve smiled nervously. Sorry for, crashing it. You didn't crash it, Grandma said. You were invited. Mom glared at her. And I wasn't told. Surprise. Grandma chirped. Jenna whispered to me, this feels like an episode of Jerry Springer, Thanksgiving edition. I whispered back, if a turkey gets thrown, I'm leaving. But despite the chaos, something strange happened. Steve sat down, poured himself a drink, and started chatting with Dad. And within 10 minutes, they were laughing, like actual brothers. Grandma looked proud, and for the first time all night, no one was yelling. For a brief, shining moment, things were calm. Too calm. That's when Uncle Rick decided to speak up. Well, since we're all being honest, he said, setting down his beer, I've got something to confess too. Oh, for the love of God, Mom groaned. Rick raised his hand. I might have, accidentally, sold Dad's old boat. Dad's head whipped around. What? I thought it was abandoned. Rick said. It's been sitting behind your shed for years. It was my retirement project. Well, now it's some guy's Airbnb prop, Rick said sheepishly. I got $800 for it. Mom threw her napkin. Unbelievable. The room exploded again, voices, laughter, chaos, Grandma cackling. And through it all, I sat back, taking in the disaster. Thanksgiving had officially gone off the rails, and somehow, we were only halfway through. The noise level in that dining room could have registered on the Richter scale. Mom was yelling about boats, Dad was yelling about brothers, and Grandma was sipping wine like she was watching the finale of her favorite drama series. You people should thank me, she said loudly over the chaos. Without me, this would have been boring. Boring? Mom snapped. Mother, we've got criminals, cheaters, long-lost relatives, and a stolen boat. You call that boring? Grandma shrugged. I call it memorable. Steve, the newly discovered half-uncle, tried to lighten the mood. Well, at least the food's great, he said, cutting another piece of turkey. Seriously, this stuffing could win awards. That man was either brave or blissfully unaware. Thanks, Mom said through gritted teeth. I only slaved over it for 8 hours while my family imploded. Emily, who'd been silent since the Kyle incident, finally spoke up. Okay, can we all just chill? It's Thanksgiving. Can we maybe try to be thankful for something other than drama? Grandma smiled. That's the spirit. Emily sighed. No, seriously. Look, yeah, Kyle might have lied about his name and scammed people, Grandma added. But, Emily continued, glaring at her, he came here because he wanted to meet my family. That counts for something, right? Everyone stared at her. Kyle looked like a deer in headlights but managed a small nod. Yeah, he said. I actually wanted to ask your family for permission to propose. The entire table gasped. Emily's jaw dropped. What? I bought the ring last week, he said, fumbling in his pocket. I wanted to do it after dinner, but, things got kind of intense. He pulled out a small velvet box, hands shaking. Emily, I love you. I know I messed up, but I swear, I just want to be honest from now on. Emily looked at him like she was trying to process 3 emotions at once, shock, anger, and disbelief. Grandma muttered, if she says yes, I'll need another drink. And then, to everyone's surprise, Emily said, you know what? Yeah. I'll say yes. Because if we can survive this Thanksgiving together, we can survive anything. The table erupted, half in cheers, half in nervous laughter. Even Mom managed a weak smile. Well, she said, that's something. Jenna, still salty from the Chad fiasco, whispered, she says yes to the scammer, but I can't even get a text back from my boyfriend. Grandma patted her hand. Consider it a blessing, dear. You dodged a bullet in a hoodie. Chad muttered, I'm literally right here. The momentary joy was nice, but of course, it didn't last. Because while everyone was distracted by the proposal, something strange happened in the kitchen. There was a faint pop, then smoke started seeping out. Dad sniffed the air. Does anyone else smell burning? Mom turned toward the kitchen and screamed, my PIE. We all jumped up as she sprinted inside. Sure enough, the oven was smoking like a campfire. Mom flung it open, grabbed the pie with oven mitts, and threw it into the sink. Of course, she said, tears welling up. Of course, this would happen. Because why not? Everything else has gone wrong today. It's just pie, dear, Grandma said, trying to be helpful. We've got ice cream. It's not about the pie. Mom yelled. It's about the fact that I try every single year to make this perfect, and every single year, you people turn it into a circus. The room fell silent. For the first time all night, no one had a joke. Even Grandma stayed quiet. Mom sank into a chair, covering her face. I just wanted one peaceful Thanksgiving. One. Is that too much to ask? I went over and put a hand on her shoulder. Hey, Mom. Look at it this way, at least we'll never forget this one. She let out a shaky laugh. You can say that again. Dad sat down beside her. Honey, I know today's been crazy, but we're all here. Messy, loud, dysfunctional, but together. Grandma nodded. He's right. Chaos or not, that's what family is. Mom sniffled. You caused half the chaos, Mother. And I'd do it again, Grandma said proudly, earning an eye roll from everyone. Jenna leaned forward. Okay, can we just call a truce? No more confessions, no more drama. Let's just eat dessert and try to enjoy the rest of the night. Everyone murmured in agreement. Even Grandma raised her glass. Fine, she said. Truce. For about 10 peaceful minutes, we actually managed it. We laughed. We told stories. The new half-Uncle Steve turned out to be surprisingly funny. Even Chad, desperate to redeem himself, offered to help wash dishes. It almost felt normal. And that's when Grandma clinked her fork against her glass again. Before we wrap up, she said, there's one last thing I need to say. No, we all groaned. Mother, no. Oh, hush, she said, standing up. This one's good, I promise. Mom dropped her head into her hands. I don't have the emotional stamina for another plot twist. Grandma grinned. Too bad, because this one's a happy one. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small envelope. You've all been so busy worrying, fighting, and confessing that you haven't noticed what I've been up to this past year. Besides Facebook sleuthing? I asked. Exactly that, she said. And it paid off. Literally. She opened the envelope and waved a check in the air. Because, my dear family, I won the lottery. The room went dead silent. Grandma just stood there, grinning like the queen of chaos, holding up that check like she was Oprah about to announce, you get a car. None of us could move. None of us could even blink. Mom was the first to find her voice. What? You what? Won. The lottery, Grandma said, enunciating each word like she was savoring it. Last December. $5 million. The room exploded. 5 million? Uncle Rick shouted. Are you serious? You've been sitting on that for a year? Mom yelled. Mother, we could have paid off our mortgages. I didn't want to make a fuss, Grandma said, completely calm. Besides, I wanted to see how you all acted when you thought there was nothing to gain. Nothing to gain? Dad said, laughing in disbelief. You let me stress about retirement for 12 months while you've been sitting on a golden ticket? Grandma shrugged. Builds character. Jenna leaned across the table. So wait, are you, like, rich now? Moderately comfortable, Grandma corrected. But don't start asking for Teslas. Oh my God, Emily said, clutching her chest. I could have bought a new car instead of taking the bus all year. And yet, Grandma said, you met Kyle, who, despite being a bit of a disaster, clearly loves you. Everything happens for a reason. You're using my suffering as a life lesson? Emily said. Of course, Grandma replied. What else is it for? Mom looked half ready to faint. Mother, this is insane. Why didn't you tell us? Grandma smiled gently this time. Because you all needed to remember that family isn't about money. It's about sticking together, even when things are messy. We're always messy, I said. Exactly, Grandma said. And that's what makes us real. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Jenna started laughing, hard. This is so crazy, she said between breaths. You're like some mastermind testing us for a social experiment. Grandma winked. Maybe I am. So what now? Dad asked, still stunned. You gonna buy a mansion? Move to Florida? Please, Grandma said. I hate humidity. I already bought something better. What could possibly be better than a mansion? Mom asked. Grandma smiled. A vacation. For all of us. A real one. Next month, we're going to Hawaii. The table erupted again, but this time, it wasn't in anger. It was laughter, disbelief, and pure shock. You're kidding. Emily shouted. I don't kid about palm trees and free Mai Tais, Grandma said proudly. Flights are booked. Pack your swimsuits. Even Chad, trying to blend back into everyone's good graces, muttered, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. Jenna shot him a look. You're not invited. Fair, he said quietly. For the first time all day, we were all laughing together. Not at each other, with each other. The tension dissolved into something warm and weirdly comforting. Mom, still stunned but smiling now, raised her glass. Well, she said, to the most insane Thanksgiving of all time. We all raised ours. To family, Dad added. To secrets, Jenna joked. To the lottery, Uncle Rick shouted. To not going to jail for selling Dad's boat. To love, Emily said softly, glancing at Kyle, who looked like he might actually cry. And then, of course, Grandma had to have the last word. To me, she said. Because let's be honest, I made this all happen. We burst out laughing, glasses clinking, turkey half-eaten, pie burned to a crisp in the sink, but it didn't matter. It was the most chaotic, ridiculous, perfectly imperfect Thanksgiving we'd ever had. Later that night, after everyone left, I helped Mom clean up. She looked exhausted but happy. You know, she said, I think this might have been our best Thanksgiving yet. Seriously? I asked, scraping stuffing off a plate. Even with all the drama? Especially with all the drama, she said. It reminded me that we're lucky. Loud, messy, unpredictable, but lucky. I smiled. Grandma really knows how to make a holiday unforgettable. Don't encourage her, Mom said, but she was smiling too. Just as we were finishing up, Grandma walked back into the kitchen, purse in hand. I almost forgot, she said. You get this. She handed Mom a smaller envelope. Mom frowned. What's this? Your bonus, Grandma said. For hosting. Mom opened it, inside was a check. For $20,000. She looked up, eyes wide. Mother, this is too much. Nonsense, Grandma said. You earned every penny surviving this family. Consider it hazard pay. We laughed until our sides hurt. When I finally left, the house smelled like leftovers and laughter, a strange mix of exhaustion and love. I looked back at the dining room, the table still cluttered with plates, wine glasses, and half-eaten desserts, and I thought, yeah, this is family. Loud, chaotic, brutally honest, and somehow still full of love. And as I closed the door behind me, I heard Grandma's voice from the kitchen, calling out one last line that made me burst out laughing all over again. Next year, she said, we're doing it at my house. I'm buying a chocolate fountain. Honestly? I can't wait. So yeah, that was our Thanksgiving. What started as total chaos turned into something kind of amazing. We yelled, we cried, we almost burned down the kitchen, and somehow, it reminded us why family matters. Even when it's messy. Especially when it's messy. Because at the end of the day, family isn't perfect, it's just real. And sometimes, real comes with smoke alarms and mashed potatoes in someone's lap. Anyway, if your family's ever had a Thanksgiving disaster, drop it in the comments, I need to know I'm not alone here. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone. I'll see you next time.